How has your week been since it's the end of the week?
This week was a little difficult, tired week, but it's okay.
Yeah, because it's over.
Yes, because it's over. And now my mother, she's here again, so ah, so good.
Yeah. Um,
And your week, how was? Very good, very good.
so we've talked about the International Phonetic Alphabet, right?
Yes, right.
Okay. Um, I'm trying to figure out where to start. What I want to do is number one, we talked about a more useful vocabulary, um, extending the vocabulary, but making it use more common.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm going to introduce you to some new words. I'm starting to compile my own list because the lists that I find, like the one that I shared with you, about 50% of those are common. The others are obscure.
Mm.
Not everybody uses them, and you may never hear some of them.
Ah, okay.
So I don't want to waste your time by going that route, but more of a uh, put time into expanding a towards a good vocabulary.
But Michael, just one question.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't understand you about in 10 days. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to this hospital. Oh, I didn't finish my sentence, did I?
Ah, so I could not understand what will happen in 10 days.
Because I
In
didn't
10
finish
days?
my sentence.
Ah,
Thank you. I
no
apologize. It's
problem.
it's a bad practice. It's I don't want to call it a habit. It's just something I do. I will interject. You know this word?
Yeah,
Interject.
I know. Mm-hmm.
I'll
Let's
interject
start.
an idea, such as you may or may not have heard of this hospital and how important it was, all that. But I didn't tell you the rest of the story. Okay, I'm going to be going there in 10 days,
Uh,
and I'll be seeing a low vision specialist that will potentially improve my eyesight for
mm,
um I mean, I can do my work on teaching online with no trouble. That doesn't seem to be a problem.
mm-hmm.
Um, it just
But this specialist, how can I say, what kind of treatment?
have no idea. Never been to one of these
Ah,
persons before,
good.
so it's going to be
Something new.
yes, yes.
Mm.
Um, very, very, very new.
Oh, so it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, I can only hope for the best. That's,
Yes,
I'm trying to look at it from a positive point of view and say
for sure. Good.
only something good will come out. Um, and that is, well, if nothing else, an answer.
Mhm.
So I had put down 7 o'clock on Fridays. You wanted 6:30, right?
Yes, 6:30
Okay.
your time. Yes.
Yes. 7:30 years.
Yes. Hmm.
And Tuesdays is still 7 or 6:30 there also.
Can I talk to my mother?
Yes.
Because I want to see what
Yeah.
would be
I,
better for her.
I'm just trying to
Because
schedule.
I just talk with her.
Yeah.
For
I,
me, maybe it's better at 7 for my time.
okay. That's what I have it written down as.
Yes, but I have to check with her if it's okay for her.
Okay. You're an hour ahead. So it would be 6 from my time. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I always have to think about that.
Yes, would be great for you also.
Yeah, either way. I mean, I'm not so busy that I'm doing other things.
For me, maybe we would be better at 7. But I'll talk to her. Now, for example, she left with my son.
Thank you. You are so kind.
No, is that Marie's story? Extending vocabulary.
Yes, I think that's it.
Extending vocabulary, this one.
Yes, it is. What I'm
Mhm.
trying to do is compile a list of words as time goes on that are specifically for Brazilian students,
Mhm.
difficult to pronounce at
Mhm.
times.
Ultimately.
Okay. You did exactly what others have done. Emphasis on you made that a short A.
Mhm.
A. It's it's like it's a U. It needs to be pronounced like a U. Ultimately.
Ultimately.
No emphasis on the A. Ultimately. Ultimately.
Ultimately.
You're still saying A
Yes, I'm still saying A.
because it's
Mm.
there. Don't ultimately like Muttley.
Ultimately.
Muttley. Think Muttley.
Millie.
Muttley. It's not a
Mm.
word, but we're gonna make
Uh-huh. Yeah, the sound, yes.
ultimately. Ultimately.
Ultimately.
The stress is on this ultimately.
Ultim
Again.
again. Could you please you could you say again?
Okay. Ultimately. Ultimately. Now let me use
Oh,
it in a sentence. Ultimately, you will be able to pronounce all of these words with no trouble and use them.
ultimately. No. No.
Everybody would know what you're saying in context, most
I
likely.
understood. Uh-huh.
Um,
Mm,
I'm going for pronunciation
sure.
um, because that's on one of your items of you want to check off is pronunciation. Ultimately, just remember that the after the M, everything is pretty much down. It goes ultimately.
Ultimately.
You went ultimately.
Ah,
You did the A again.
okay.
Ultimately, think of it.
Ultimately.
No mate, no mately. It's mut. Think of it as mutley or mitley. Ultimately,
Medley? Ultimately?
yes, but the T has to be clear.
Ta.
It was more like a D, but yeah. But you've got the vowels.
Ultimately?
Okay. Okay. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to send you this list before we're done. And because this is obviously one that you'll need to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody does. So far,
Mm-hmm.
this is one. If I didn't pick any other word that was right, this was a good one to put on here because it is frequently used.
Okay.
Um, if you're talking about a project, let's say that. So, what does that entail? Do you have a team? Do you work alone?
I
Um,
have a team.
okay. Do you anticipate being a team leader?
No, I'm not a team leader.
Okay. Then you will hear your team leader say or talk about
Mm.
the project at hand
Mm-hmm.
and say, and reference, ultimately, we want this as our result. So ultimately is referring to not always the end, but it's well, I guess yeah, the final result.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I said ultimately we want to get you to be pronouncing all these words with no trouble and using them. Because you will find places that you need to use them versus using a full sentence to where you could use this one word.
Okay.
So this is one of the items on the checkoff list that you need to work on. That's fine. That means you're
Mm-hmm.
normal. It means you're normal because you're in with the crowd. This one is what I'm going to ask you to do, which I really was hesitant to do, but I found out that others thought it was a great idea, and somebody did this. It's on YouTube. And she's Ukrainian but speaks English with no accent whatsoever. None. And she's talking about how she did it. Well, one of the things I wanted to ask you all to do is to record and listen to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then record and send it to me, but without correcting yourself. Because if you correct yourself, then you won't listen to your mistakes. You need to hear your mistakes in order to correct them. Just don't focus on mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on what's the correct way. When you do it right, that's the part you need to say. Good for me. Look what I did. Okay, so number 2, apparently there's a TV show by this name.
Ultimatum.
Yes, ultimatum.
Ultimatum.
So Maria, also from Brazil, said, I said, a TV show? I said, what's it about? She said, oh, it's a reality show. It's marry me or go away. Okay, that would be an ultimatum. It's this or that. Do this or. And that's usually, it does fit with, as it says, a breakdown in relations.
And
I
it is
didn't come up with the definition, but that is so accurate. It usually pertains to either a job between you and your boss. Let's say you tell your boss, look, I have to have this and I have to have this many days off, or you don't have me. I'm
actually,
gone.
yeah, this word is very similar for in Portuguese.
Okay, well, that's giving them an ultimatum.
Mm-hmm.
It's this way or I'm gone. Or,
Okay.
so what
In,
is it in Portuguese?
yes, I will tell you. In Portuguese, you say ultimatum.
Ultimatum. Okay. So it's not terribly different.
It's the
No, I mean,
the writing is very similar.
yeah. Okay. And so the meaning is the same?
Yes, the meaning is the same.
Good. Okay. So I don't think you have trouble with it. You pronounce it right the first time. Notice the ly on the ultimately.
Ultimately.
There, you said it perfect. That makes it an adverb. So ultimately, we want to accomplish. Okay, accomplish is the verb. Ultimately, we want to, or we will, or what will be accomplished. All these extra words in the middle don't matter. The adverb goes along with what we have down here further. Okay. Number
Okay.
3.
Should.
Yes. Now I heard the L in there.
Mm.
It's more like
Should. Should.
perfect.
Mhm.
Should.
Should.
We gotta be careful.
Mm. Should.
Yeah. A desk that is made of, your desk is made of what?
Would.
There. That is how you pronounce this word.
Mhm.
Same. It's identical pronunciation.
Would.
What I've learned in this process is that in your language, you pronounce every letter, or
Yes.
well, almost in every,
Almost of them. Mhm.
yeah. We're as in, well, as you've discovered in English, we don't.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't
So,
know why you have the letter.
oh yeah, it's space takers that take up space. That's why. Now, this word made her laugh before she could say it.
Close.
Yes, perfect. So far, my German student and Maria both say clothes. The E is not heard. Now, when you hear people use this word, it sounds like the word CLOSE, like to close the door. Clothes.
Mhm.
It's just that it's when some in the middle of a conversation, you'll hear people say, well, the clothes I'm going to wear. Well, clothes, the TH can't be heard. It's in the middle of
Mhm.
a sentence, but context gives it away.
Yes.
So it's, I was listening to a video about, it was a video of Boost Your Russian. And it was a Putin speech from years ago. And as he talks, I noticed that he pronounces some of the letters in ways that I'm pretty harsh on my students about pronouncing that they pronounce or they don't pronounce them properly.
Mm.
But in the middle of a conversation, or of in his case, a speech, it doesn't sound wrong. And it all does have to do with context.
No, it's no problem. I like to understand also,
I appreciate
E,
that.
I have no idea.
No, but you can try. The U is pronounced the way the others were, the previous ones that used to U.
Okay, I will try.
Well, now you know
Ulti
it's not pronounced as U.
ulterior?
Uh-huh. Ulterior.
Ulterior.
Okay. Say ER. Repeat
Mm?
after me. Repeat after me. ER.
ER.
Okay, now say ulterior.
Ulterior.
There, you said it. Ulterior.
Ulterior.
So it's ulterior is most commonly used in the phrase ulterior motive. An ulterior motive would be like me saying, well, I teach English as a second language because I just love to teach.
Mm.
I have an ulterior motive. I also like to get paid.
Mm.
This is also very common. This phrase is very, very common.
Yes.
I heard it twice today that I know of. I'm starting to pay attention to what I'm hearing. I've become a better listener the more I've talked
Yes.
because I'm
You
at,
have to
yeah, I
to
want,
remember the phrase. Ah,
right,
okay,
because I
this
want,
should be our example. Would
yeah,
be
I want to
would
deliver something to you. And if I
your
pay attention and I hear,
theater motive.
you know, and you'll be able to, if you looked at it, like if you, let's say you Googled it, you'll come up with you'll see all kinds of examples. Um, the next one, I don't think I needed to put it there because nobody's had trouble with it. Number 7.
Murder,
Well, try that again.
murder,
Yes.
murder.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Yeah. I need to get rid of this one. Oh, well. The R's are, the R is a very emphatic letter
Mm,
and American English. And I emphasize American English because in British English, and this would be
murder.
mutter, like, um, hello, mother, hello, father.
Very similar. Mm, but in American English, how can I say
Murder. You said it correctly. The
murder?
R's are very,
Murder.
very crisp, clearly pronounced. Okay, now this word, if you have any trouble with it in your head, take off the IN and the LE, and then
In definitely.
now you've used this word before.
Mm-mm.
I've heard you use it. It's just that you're doing exactly what happened to another student. She did the same thing. Um, and that is you're looking at it. You're not breaking it apart and saying,
Mm-hmm.
part of this do I know? You do know this word.
Definitely.
Yeah, there, you just said it. Definitely.
Yes, I
I've
know
heard,
the word.
yeah, I've heard you say definitely.
Yes, definitely. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, in Latin, in means not. So if something is got that in front of it, it means it isn't definite.
Mm-hmm.
So now what's the word?
I don't remember how to say this. The indefinitely.
There. Perfect.
Yes, no.
Indefinitely. Um,
Indefinitely.
I added the ly um just to try to make it more difficult. I should probably
And
apologize for that. Because the truth is, what the way we
indefinitely.
normally hear it pronounced is what we hear of this, we hear the word indefinite,
Mm-hmm.
or we hear definitely,
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
or we hear the word define, which comes from this. It's a um, derivative. Aha. It's still working slowly, but it's still working. Derivative means it's derived, it derives from definite or define.
Mm-hmm.
Define is to set something a an equal to. So if you define a word, it says this word is equal to, and then gives you definition. Definite is an absolute, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said that's definite. Now, are you sure this is going to happen? I'm definite.
Mm,
Or you could just respond definitely.
okay.
How long are you going to be at General Motors?
How long?
Yeah.
Definitely.
No, no, no.
And definitely,
Yeah. I mean,
yes.
do you know when the end is going to come?
No,
It's indefinite then.
no, I don't know. Indefinitely.
You may be there till there is no more General Motors or till they are turned into another company or till you take over.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, don't forget me if you do
I
that.
no. Indefinitely.
So that's another one that's like I said, indefinite is the or definitely. The IN and the LY, I was again just trying to make it more difficult and I succeeded, but it then I didn't really sit down and think, wait,
Okay.
how common is this? I mean, it's it's everyday language, yes. But people, instead of saying, how long are you gonna be working here? I don't know. Instead of indefinitely,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know is what their answer would be. And more often than not, that's what they would say. Okay, I don't think you'll have trouble with number 9.
Literature.
Again, what's the last part again?
Literature.
Literature. Yeah,
Literature.
yeah, like as if that was sh. Literature.
Liter literature.
Yes. Now I'm going to introduce you shortly to literature, classical literature.
Mm.
This classical literature is
Lit-
um, a collection of over 60,000 books that are freely accessible because the law the copyright law in America says that it is open for anybody to have access if
Mm.
it's 50 years after the author's death. And no
Oh,
and nobody was given the rights.
okay.
Now, if the rights have been passed on to a child or grandchild or something like that, then of course it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's a website I'm going to introduce you to has all of these in one. And you may have seen it before, but the
Iteration.
yes, perfect,
Mm.
excellent. Do you know the word?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I know the meaning. Mm-hmm.
But did you know the word as in the English word you as it's used?
Japanese talking, yes. No, I'm just kidding. I don't
No,
know.
it's
Maybe
fun.
I heard sometime, but yes.
Every time you talk about the Japanese talker, it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I was going to add ly to this, but it's hard enough as it is for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if I tell you the verb,
Mm-hmm.
would that help?
Maybe tell me the verb.
Manipulate.
Manipulate. Hmm.
Except
Yes.
for the A is not stressed in this word as it is in manipulate?
Manipulative.
No, you stress the A again.
Yes.
It's like again, it's like a U.
Hmm.
Manipulative.
Manipulative.
Perfect.
Manipulative.
Do you have a similar word? No.
Sorry.
You don't have a similar word in Portuguese?
Mm, in Portuguese, manipulador.
Aha. Okay. Um, what's interesting is I'm learning that Portuguese and German have a lot of similar words.
Yes. In
And I'm not,
German?
yes, because I've got a student that's German. She's 40, yeah, 40 years old. And she's um she pronounced the German word for it, and it sounded just like your Portuguese word for it.
Oh, this is interesting. Very interesting.
Very.
I tried to, yes, because some years ago I started to learn German.
Oh,
Yes, because I liked. So I did the course for 2 years, but for me was not so easy that time.
oh, I no. Vocabulary, individual words might be,
Mm,
but their grammar is horrible.
yes,
It is
the
painful.
verb, oof, very
Oh,
difficult.
well, actually, their verbs can have one verb can have 24 forms.
Yeah, my 24.
Yeah. So walk can be it depends on how it's used in a sentence of how it can be totally transformed to a different word.
Yeah, so in that time I thought that was very difficult for me.
You want,
I liked it, but definitely was difficult.
aha, definitely. Yeah.
Was very difficult. Ah, yes.
So you understand the meaning
Mm-hmm.
because you've got the equivalent
Yeah, it's very similar for Portuguese. Oh my. I know the meaning, but assailant?
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Mm,
What you're getting used to is this. You're getting used to the observing the word and putting it together in the way that the American English forms sounds by doing this.
mm-hmm.
Um, this is probably something that would be very fitting to your work. This word,
Yeah, it's very normal in my work.
yes.
But I don't know if we pronounced correct here in Brazil.
Okay, try.
Mm. um, allocation.
Perfect. Nailed it. You're getting so much better. Oh my goodness. That makes me so happy. This should make you happy.
Yes, I'm happy too. Mm. I,
Allocation. It's only thing I think that's a kind of confusing about the word is the word. I see the word location in there.
mm-hmm.
Um, and in this, I see if you put a C in front of this, it's called callocation.
You know what I mean? It's allocation.
A callocation is a set of words that are frequently used together. not
Uh,
random, but they're almost always together. Like, um, pick it up.
mm, pick it up.
Okay, that's a collocation. A lot of collocations are idioms
Mm-hmm.
in any language that they're used in, but I just learned about them because a student came to do a study and said, I want to do my research on collocations. I said, well, to start with, you're going to have to tell me what they are because I had never heard of them. And I went to my TESOL professor that I had, and I said, why didn't we ever cover these in the car classes? He said, we never did that. Yeah, go ahead, act like you don't know. I said, I think they're important enough. I mean, I've now published a 31-page article on it. So they're important. Anyway, that's the point. Next.
Alter.
Perfect. There are two meanings to this. This is the one that I'm focusing on. Um, drugs can alter your mind. You know, that's change it, shift it.
Mm-hmm.
You needed to alter your plans because you didn't have somebody to watch your son.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those are the very common uses of alter. It's another word is it derives from this called alternative,
Mm,
which is means other.
okay.
So I have alternative plans today. I've changed my plans. They're not going to go this way. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's altering, it's changing. The other one is at a place in usually in a church setting where people kneel. That's the altar.
Mm-hmm.
So same spelling, same pronunciation. English is pretty bad at this too. A lot of
Yes.
words that are spelled the same and sound the same have no similar meaning. Or I have this kind of problem with students' writings. They will use this one, or I'm sorry, the first one to mean this one, there and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's because they are not smart enough. And they're just typing as their fingers are going. That's the word that comes out. It's not
Yes. Actually, for example, sometimes when I'm just writing, and
yes.
so I'm thinking and writing, I use to make the mistake that I put with and if. For example, I have to talk with you,
Oh,
and then when I'm writing, I put if but if.
is it because you hear the word with as WIF?
No, because sometimes, for example, for me, it's very similar. For the listening, for I have to talk with you or with my
Yes.
mother, and the same that maybe or the with that the word with as a condition. Um, I can go if somebody take care of my children.
Yes.
So sometimes I'm just writing and I make this mistake. I
Okay,
changed the words, okay?
I see. Okay, I understand now.
Because okay, I'm just thinking about the word, but the pronunciation. And then when I start to write, I put if, and not the with, the
I,
WITH.
now you're pronouncing with as whiff. That's what I'm hearing. Whiff, WIFF. That's what I'm hearing you say.
Mm.
Um, so the reason my initial startup was to talk about the international phonetic alphabet is because the I
Mm-hmm.
and the TH are the two things I'm hearing a lot of trouble with. Do you have a W sound in Portuguese? Like in the word wood?
Um, no, I'm trying to. You don't use this in Portuguese, this letter actually.
Okay. Okay. Because Maria says wood. When I ask her to pronounce wood, she says wood.
Mm.
If I ask her to pronounce WOOD, she says wood.
Mm-hmm.
But I told her they're the same sound. And wood. No, it's not wood. That's the one that kept going down. It just kept going declining.
Yes, I'm trying to. We don't have this.
Okay. I mean, she's wonderful, but that is a struggle for her.
Yeah, but this is very difficult. Not only for her.
Yeah.
But
I mean, all of my Ukrainian students would put a V in place of W.
mm.
Or I mean, no, I'm sorry, put a W in place of V.
Okay.
In Russian, they have V. They don't have W. So when I remember the first time it happened, I was holding my visa,
Mm.
and a student walked up to me and says, "May I see your visa?"
We. Okay.
At first, I went, "Huh?"
Visa. Mm.
Then I figured out what she was talking about was in my hand.
Mm.
Um, they live in the village. They lived in the village their whole life. No, that's a village.
Mm-hmm.
You have, and I just kept saying, you've got the in your alphabet. Why don't you use the one the one you have? And I mean, I said, so I would spell out the Russian spelling for vodka. How do you say this word? Vodka. Okay. You don't say
So do you
wod,
have?
you don't say vodka. For water, they say vada.
Mm.
Vada is water. That's
Yes,
the
we
Russian word.
don't have the W here in Portuguese.
Well, apparently it's W and TH are not completely only American English, but in English more so than other languages. Um, I've never heard a German pronounce Volkswagen.
Volkswagen. Yes, they are pronouncing.
Yeah, how they're pronouncing it. How would they pronounce it in their language? Is there the W there in German? I don't know.
I think that they pronounce with V. Vo.
Volkswagen, Wagen.
Wagen. Yes, something like that.
Yes, that's what I suspect. Number 13, or 15, I'm gonna skip because it's really not, it's not a commonly used. It had a lot of syllables, exclamation. So I was going for difficult to pronounce, but then again, I accidentally used a word that, well, I'm trying to be common, useful,
Yes,
and difficult to pronounce.
difficult to pronounce. Mm-hmm.
So those are my 3 criteria in building my list. And I'll put my list online ultimately. Ultimately, there. See,
Ah, yes,
I did not do that on
ultimately.
purpose. That was that
Just
because that's what fits. So
unfor unfortunately,
no,
unfortunately,
there's no ly.
unfortunate, unfortunate,
Unfortunate.
unfortunate,
Yes.
unfortunate.
So someone may say, well, I was trying to get and I was trying to upgrade my position at my job and I didn't get it. Well, that's unfortunate.
Unfortunate. Yes.
Or
Okay.
say, unfortunately, you're fired. No. That's terrible. I couldn't talk like that because I'm looking for work now. Um, so you did fine. You're fine with that, I think.
Mhm.
Um, this one I added the XTH because it's one of those that has the TH, but sometimes an RTH or an XTH makes it difficult.
Sixth.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Most
He is a word or a phrase?
it's a word.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness.
That's funny. Nobody asked that question. That was good.
Development. Develop. It's a word. Development. Developmentally.
There,
Develop. Mhm. Developmentally.
developmentally.
Development.
Yeah, because the A is not heard. It's
Development.
like TLY,
Okay.
developmentally. Um,
Developmentally. Mhm.
yeah. Um, it relates to development. Well, you already know that because the word development's in there.
Yes.
Um,
Development.
but it as an adverb, it's developmentally. Um, actually, something that's another one that I just add the ly to make it more difficult, and it's really not that useful.
It's very difficult.
Development. Yeah, it does that. It make it more difficult. Development. Now that is a very common word.
Yes, development, yes.
Okay, then
Mm.
it's not a phrase.
No. No. This is almost a word. Indiscretion?
Indiscretion, yes. And it think of the word. Do you know the word discreet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So indiscretion, non, that means they're not being discreet in their indiscretion implies it's a behavior.
In Portuguese is indiscreto.
Oh, indiscreto.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I'm gonna develop a Portuguese vocabulary before I even learn how to speak.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I know how to say como vai, but I don't know how to respond to it.
So how are you? Como vai? Let me see how can I answer. Estou bem.
Estou bem.
Estou bem. E você?
Estou bem.
Seems like I'm good, and you?
Oh, esto is like it is,
Yes,
right?
because you said. Como vai? Você? In English means how are you?
Yes.
So you can say eu estou bem. I'm okay. And you? Or something like I'm
Oh,
great.
so
And
like
you?
bem is like
Great.
uh
Good. Well.
the replacing of like the Spanish bien.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for the comparison.
Estoy bien. Yes, same as in
Yeah.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Yo estoy bien. ¿Y tú?
Yeah. It too. Now, how would you say and you?
E você?
It will say. I like that. That's so I like the way it sounds. It just flows. Now I
You're
know
very
what
good in pronunciation.
I
Your
try.
pronunciation is very good, yes.
I I've worked very hard on pronouncing other foreign languages.
No, yes, but it's very good.
My only
E
bad one is
você?
Chinese. Chinese.
Ah, okay. Chinese, I don't know if you're good.
I'm a failure. But what my I don't hear the tones as if I did when I was 20. I don't hear the tonal that they have in Chinese. Thankfully, Portuguese isn't a tonal language.
No, and you're doing very well.
Spasibo bolshoi, which means thank you very much. In Russian,
Obrigado.
obrigado,
Thank you. Obrigado.
obrigado. Okay. I'm going to be working on this. Oh my goodness. Okay. And this one also one that doesn't need to go. I don't want to ruin any words. So you know these words. Now I want to show you this. I don't want to. Okay, we're almost to our time anyway. I don't want to.